this person was wondering how you might recommend prioritizing campaign strategy budgets for a new product launch.
Great question. On our end, there's a few variables we do look at is what your, review acquisition strategies are. If you have nothing in place, we're going to start ads. If you're collecting reviews prior, we may wait a little bit, but typically we just see PPC as a review acquisition strategy in its own. We typically start with sponsored products and manual campaigns. Auto campaigns are great. I run them all the time. I would still run them even for very established brands. It's great for data collection. But when we start with an auto campaign, we typically see Amazon's a little broad in the beginning because they don't have any data on our product. They're just using the listing to try to figure out where our product needs to be shown. I don't want to give Amazon that much bandwidth to show my ad everywhere. I prefer a manual campaign because I know what keywords I need to be showing up for. I've done my keyword research, my audience research. This is what I'm going to bid on. I typically set up campaigns specifically using the keywords that were used to write the listing. So that way we're giving additional juice on the ranking side. And then I'll do really small things like maybe add to a historical sponsored brand campaign that's doing really well. So that way we can get a little bit lift from, the brand authority of our other products. I'll run competitor targeting to products that maybe I have a major price point advantage of. If I'm $10 cheaper, I'm going to target all of these products to help give me some, juice in the beginning. At the end of the day, if you have a small budget, don't spread yourself too thin trying to do everything. One of the questions in the chat is if I have $5 to $8 campaign budgets per campaign, you don't have a lot of bandwidth. So rather doing $5 to $8 per campaign, maybe do $30 to one concise campaign focusing on 2 to 3 of your top keywords. If you have a lot of budget, then, fundamentally we're going to set up ranking campaigns, long tail keywords, competitor targeting, sponsor brand, sponsor display, product targeting, video, everything. But that's kind of how I'd answer that in a broad fashion.
It was Jeff Cohen, the Amazon ads partnerships leader. He said a great thing. Whenever someone asks a question about Amazon ads, the first thing should always be, it depends. And I think that's definitely the case with this question about ranking. All I'll say is I think Destaney nailed it. One thing that I know for sure that I've learned with like the few launches that I've done is you've got that aspirational keyword that is like the one that's going to be the gravy train someday. Yep. But realistically, it might be really hard to rank for that term because other people are already owning it. So I like to.
Well.
What's that?
Like you're not going to convert near as well as your top competitor with 7,000 reviews.
You will not. So there's a strategy called like the stepping stone strategy. And it starts with what are those keywords that are longer tail, more specific to your product, and focusing on those in the beginning. Now, I know this would probably not get a lot of love from like the launching pros and experts, but if you launch a lot of products, maybe you can't constantly be like doing the perfect launch strategy. A good way is to find those long tail niche keywords and start winning on those first. Start winning that placement and start winning that, those reviews and that conversion rate, start building up on the SERP. And then once you've started winning those, start like taking on more high search volume keywords. That's just one way. Yeah.
And like very simple way, let's take the keyword protein. Kyle and I both worked in that category. We would see $40 CPCs, very, very competitive, very expensive. And we all know who the key players are in the protein space. If you're launching a protein, you're not going to be able to compete in that. You can't afford to drive that much volume and you don't have the conversion rate to do it. So what Kyle's saying is maybe you do your keyword research and you figure out you have a niche for vegan protein for women under the age of 50. Like maybe that's your niche. Figure that out, go after that, start building organic rank there. And then once you have the organic sales and velocity that can help finance your next term, maybe then you go after vegan protein for women. And then you build up velocity, you get more reviews, your conversion rate's going to increase over time because you're going to get more zeroed in and you're going to have that review rate. And then you move to the next one. And then that's how you can kind of make that work long term.